Robert F. Kennedy Jr. just keeps messing up or making bad decisions over and over again. One of the things that he tried to make clear or portray himself differently as during his confirmation hearings was, whoa. Whatever you heard about me, about the whole vaccine thing, like my whole life mission, spreading misinformation about vaccines, don't worry about that. I just want people to eat less ultra-processed food and do push-ups. To which I said, hell yeah, I love those two initiatives. And also said, but I think you might have some weird anti-vax stuff still in you. And that's exactly what we're now realizing. And the consequences of this could be pretty significant. To break it down, I want to bring in Brittany Page.
It's Brittany, bitch.
There she is. There are so many of hers.
The effects are just getting better and better on this show. You are all so impressive.
All right, so I'm shocked and I'm aghast, and I had no idea that the anti-vax warrior was going to maybe be anti-vax.
Can you believe it? It is shocking. The latest news, there's two big pieces where RFK has announced changes. The first was that he's changing the COVID vaccine recommendations for pregnant women and healthy children, saying that they will no longer be recommended by the CDC. That was the big one. And then we're also going to talk about a little bit later how he's now wanting to prevent government scientists from publishing in the world's leading medical journals. Also a significant problem. But related to this vaccine change, when he was trying to convince us that he wasn't a radical, like you were just saying, he came out and he made proclamations. He said that anyone who wants a vaccine can keep their vaccines. He's not out here to take our vaccines. And if you don't believe that that's what he said, this is him, I think, from October of last year, trying to make the case that he wouldn't do anything radical.
You have been a crusader on questioning vaccines. Are there specific vaccines that you would seek to take off the market?
No, I'm not going to take away anybody's vaccines. I've never been anti-vaccine.
You will not take any vaccine that is currently on the market.
I've never been anti-vaccine. I just think that most of them suck.
If vaccines are working for somebody, I'm not going to take them away. People ought to have a choice, and that choice ought to be informed by the best information. So I'm going to make sure the scientific safety studies and efficacies are out there, and people can make individual assessments about whether that product is going to be good for them.
Would that include COVID vaccines that are currently on the market?
I want the best science for every vaccine.
It is part of that. During the pandemic, the height of the pandemic, you were...
Okay, this reminds me of whenever Trump will get asked, what are you going to do to combat climate change or to ensure a clean environment? He'll say, I want the best air, the cleanest water, while he's implementing regulation changes that will ensure the exact opposite. He just repeats over and over, I want the best science, even if I'm attacking it. So what is it that he's now doing? You referenced it already, but that's contradicting said statement, Brittany.
Yeah, I mean, he's changing the recommended vaccine options for people. And there may be some people who say, well, what's the big deal? If it's not recommended by the CDC, you can still get it. And well, it depends on what you mean by someone still has a choice, right? There's a lot of people who are still saying you still have the choice to get the vaccine. Well, what does that mean? If insurance companies no longer cover the cost of the vaccine, which is a likely consequence that there's going to be gaps in coverage now with some insurance companies choosing not to cover the cost of a vaccine because it's no longer recommended, then people will have to pay out of pocket. And what about the people who cannot afford to pay out of pocket to get the vaccine that they want? It doesn't seem like those people will be able to get the vaccine that they want. Like RFK said, everyone who wants one will be able to get one. Apparently not. You also have a situation where, just like abortion bans claim that the exceptions to save the life of the mother are easy to understand, and we've seen that that's not the case, where it creates a lot of confusion for doctors who don't know where the line is and don't know when they can act and when something that they do may be considered illegal. This can create a similar vibe among doctors, where if a vaccine is no longer recommended, they may be hesitant to give it to someone who's requesting it in the office because they think, well, the CDC no longer recommends this for you. So they will question whether or not they should or can give the vaccine. Again, creating more chaos, again, creating more confusion. And RFK decided to announce this change in a Twitter video that he released, standing beside the FDA Commissioner Marty McCary and another lifelong activist buddy of his. And this is that video.
Hi, everybody. I'm Robert F. Kennedy Jr., your HHS Secretary, and I'm here today with NIH Director Dr. Jay Bhattacharya and FDA Commissioner Dr. Marty McCary. I couldn't be more pleased to announce that as of today, the COVID vaccine for healthy children and healthy pregnant women has been removed from the CDC recommended immunization schedule. Last year, the Biden administration urged healthy children to get yet another COVID shot despite the lack of any clinical data to support the repeat booster strategy in children.
That ends today. It's common sense and it's good science.
There's no evidence healthy kids need it today, and most countries have stopped recommending it for children.
We're now one step closer to realizing President Trump's promise to make America healthy again.
Just a fun group of guys.
And it always has to end with a little proof of fealty to Trump. Any video that they make, any announcement they make, it has to just have a little Trump spice. Hey, we're watching. We love you, Trump. Don't worry. We're doing a good job. What's interesting is the tiny guy, the smaller one. That's Marty McCary. He's the FDA commissioner. And just last week,
and we're just going to glide by the tiny guy remark. Okay, cool. No, keep going. No, keep going.
Well, I'm just
Brutal.
for reference so everyone can see. They can have
Tiny's a little
reference
aggressive of Brittany. Sheesh.
I don't know how actually
Sir,
tall
what was his name again?
Marty McCary.
Marty, I think you're a perfect size. There, continue.
I'm just for reference so everyone can see. He's objectively the smaller of the people on the screen, right?
Yeah, continue.
All right. Marty McCary, tiny guy, he noted in the New England Journal of Medicine in an article just last week, Marty McCary, tiny guy, he listed pregnancy as one of the medical conditions that warrants a COVID vaccine. And then he dares stand there in that video, being a tiny guy. I'm just going to keep going with it since you highlighted
You're
it.
brutal.
I'm just going to keep doing it. No, it's
I
just
denounce
compared to everyone.
I denounce.
Just compared.
I denounce
Just
you.
compared. And he listed pregnancy as one of the medical conditions that warrants COVID vaccination in an article in the New England Journal of Medicine. And then he has the audacity to stand there alongside RFK in this announcement.
Yeah, and from my understanding, it's just not true, some of what they said about, I guess, maybe how they're defining need. They don't need it, but the safe and effective status for those groups has been litigated and studied over and over again. Am I wrong on that?
No, that's a great point. And that's what I think is another issue with this announcement is that it creates fear for people, right? That may think, oh, it's no longer recommended. Well, is it gonna hurt me if I get it? Why would you change it? Why would you make it no longer recommended? Is it because it's harmful? And then it creates more confusion, it creates more fear, it creates more doubt. And that's what RFK wants. Similarly, with his new announcement that he's going to prevent government scientists from publishing in the world's leading medical journals. He said this on a podcast. He said, quote, "We're probably going to stop publishing in The Lancet, New England Journal of Medicine, and JAMA, and those other journals because they're all corrupt." He talked about how they are under the control of the pharmaceutical companies. Now, again, he's highlighting the New England Journal of Medicine, tying it back to Marty McCary, the FDA commissioner, who is a very average, normal-sized guy. I'm changing my tune, right? A normal-sized guy. He noted in the article that was published in the New England Journal of Medicine. So all these guys got to get their stories straight, right? If you're standing next to the guy who's publishing recommendations for pregnant women to get the COVID vaccination in the journal that you no longer want government scientists to publish in, I mean, what are we doing here? It's all over the place. It's confusing. I don't even think they know what they want. And this kind of speaks to, you know, during the confirmation of RFK, there was a lot of controversy over his anti-vaccine activism. And there was one Republican senator named Bill Cassidy, and he's a doctor. And he publicly claimed to struggle a lot with RFK's nomination and whether or not he would vote to confirm him. And ultimately, Bill Cassidy was the deciding vote to move RFK's nomination out of committee for the full vote to be confirmed, which he ultimately was. So Bill Cassidy, this vote was so controversial for him that after voting yes, he had to come out basically and explain why he decided as a physician to vote for RFK. And one of the things that he said he would do essentially is that he would babysit RFK.
So as I looked how to resolve this, I returned to where I began. Would it be possible to have Mr. Kennedy collaborate in helping public health agencies re-earn the trust of the American people? Now, regarding vaccines, Mr. Kennedy has been insistent that he just wants good science and to ensure safety. But on this topic, the science is good. The science is credible. Vaccines save lives. They are safe. They do not cause autism. There are multiple studies that show this. They are a crucial part of our nation's public health response. But as someone who's discussed immunizations with thousands of people, I do recognize that many mothers need reassurance that the vaccine their child is receiving is necessary, effective, and most of all, safe. While I'm aligned with Mr. Kennedy as regards ultra-processed food, reforming NIH, and taking on chronic disease, once more, it leaves vaccines. Now, Mr. Kennedy and the administration reached out seeking to reassure me regarding their commitment to protecting the public health benefit of vaccination. To this end, Mr. Kennedy and the administration committed that he and I would have an unprecedentedly close collaborative working relationship if he is confirmed. We will meet or speak multiple times a month. This collaboration will allow us to work well together and therefore to be more effective. Mr. Kennedy has asked for my input into hiring decisions at HHS beyond Senate.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah, so he said, listen, I'll vote for him, but I am going to have to babysit him. I'm going to have these very regular meetings with him because he is a radical. Like, that implicit in that is, right, I need to keep tabs on this guy. I need to keep him close. And I guess to Bill Cassidy, I would just say, how's all that working out for you?
Yeah, I'd be curious to see how he'd answer that. Brittany, thank you for breaking this down for us. Support Brittany's work by going to Brittany Page on YouTube. And thank you for being with us.
Thank you as always for having me.